How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It looks like the drama, just one way or another, is not ending as people continuously decide that they are going to continue this debate with Xbox. But before we get into that, there was something else I wanted to touch on. Now, Sweet Baby has been the hot topic for quite a bit with their script writing and, well, basically no one likes them. No one wants them touching their games. Even Square Enix had to ratify that Sweet Baby had no involvement with the actual text. They just asked them for some advice based on a certain scene, which makes sense when you kind of think about it, especially as graphics have, kind of developed. So that scene in particular, I kind of understand, but if you're looking at what happened with Suicide Squad, it's clear that there has been some forms of, lapse of judgment. Unfortunately, it seems that Sweet Baby Inc., well, I call them Inc., but they're Sweet Baby. When it comes to South of Midnight, they worked on the story development, script writing, cultural, and character consultation. And as far as most people are concerned when it comes to this, well, they're not very happy. And this could actually spell quite a bit of problems for Compulsion Games and their game. And honestly, at this point, this company is becoming such a red flag for multiple different reasons. It is Inc. actually. It's really clear that people, I don't know. It's just one of those things where the moment you see Sweet Baby Inc., you're kind of double thinking yourself. But you're looking at this over here where Compulsion Games say, many video games are a product of the times they were created in, as we look to recreate and remaster these stories for modern audiences. Now, Saints Row was one such game that they decided to change to the actual modern audiences. And as we all saw, well, the whole concept of Saints Row was its wackiness, quirkiness, and the fact that you could do the things that were in that game. It's what made it popular by trying to modernize it and by trying to make it, adhere to social norms today, meant that no one actually bought the game and people lost their jobs and studios closed down. And it looks like these companies are perfectly happy for that to happen as long as they keep a moral high ground. Well, the moral high ground stops when people lose their jobs. And there's a good chance that this could happen with this game as well. Now, obviously, as you can see here, it's important to consider the implications of these harmful portrayals and do our part to rewrite history, not repeat it. There's nothing to rewrite. It was there in the first place. Changing history is not a good way to go. You're just masking up stuff that already happened. Now, clearly certain things are worse than the others, but they applaud their peers at Crystal Dynamics for their reflections and corrections. Now, Crystal Dynamics say, this game in this collection contains offensive depictions of people and cultures rooted in racial and ethnic prejudices. These stereotypes are deeply harmful, inexcusable, and do not align with our values at Crystal Dynamics. Do you know what? Just don't release the game then. Don't remaster it, don't do it, if this is how you feel. Rather than removing this content, because we know it won't sell if we do that, we have chosen to present it here in its original form because we want money and we like money, unaltered, in the hopes that we may acknowledge its harmful impact and learn from it. You are acknowledging nothing, you're learning nothing, and you are just releasing it in its original state because you like money. And at the end of the day, if you actually did remove it, you would lose money and you would become the next Saints Row. It's that simple. If you're going to remake and remaster a game, you need to make sure it keeps the original essence, the original aura, the original feel, the original, symbiosis of the actual game in order for it to be successful. Saints Row tried to change that, and many people lost their jobs and probably today are still looking for a job. So this is not something that should be toyed around with. And as you can see down here, no, it's not your job to rewrite any history. These games aren't a product of their time either. They're art, and some arts can be deemed offensive to some, but we don't change art because it's offensive. That's a personal issue. What about modern audiences? Were the audiences of 1996 stark mad racists? Rewrite new history? Thank God, I thought this was the team making Clockwork. I'd hate to have to skip that one too. So Compulsion Games, in my opinion, has really made the wrong choice. I think they should have probably not gone with Baby Ink, but Crystal Dynamics decided, hey, we can see these problems. We're just going to release a blanket statement from PR that basically says, we're not, believing in these, but we still like money and we're not going to change anything because we actually want our games to sell. And so, good luck to South of Midnight, Compulsion Games. I hope this doesn't actually hurt the game in its, entirety. We've got here, this type of stuff drives me nuts. Saints Row was a product of its time, an amazing game. See, Saints Row again. They decided to rewrite its history and it proved detrimental. There's a difference between respecting cultures and understanding that not every human is a saint. They're games. And video games are just that, video games. People need to get over the fact that these are not real life depictions. They are just video games, despite the fact that games are starting to, graphically become better and better. And we all saw what the Sora AI looks like. It's impressive. It's really, really good. But at the end of the day, this is not it. This is not it. And this needs to, this attitude needs to change. As you can see, I love this pic. But it's a thing, right? And at the end of the day, this isn't the way forward. And I think, you can clearly see here that Crystal Dynamics knew that if they depicted the original Tomb Raiders that they released in any way, shape, or form, this was going to be, a dumpster fire. They were not going to be able to sell as many units as they did. And I was considering getting this, but since Crystal Dynamics is openly admitting to caring about politics, Stella Brigade, even then, people are going to move on. You got to respect the move to leave it in, though, to preserve the original artistic direction. No, the reason why they left it in Karim is because they like money. You see Spider-Man 2, it had a lot of LGBTQ stuff. Why didn't they leave it in for the Middle East? Because no one would buy it. They chose money. All of that stuff is removed from the Middle East. Why? Because they like money. Their morals and their politics and everything else only goes up to the point where it makes money. Now, Saints Row decided that they were going to forego money, and they lost the studio, all their staff, and their business. So you can see how quickly this can spiral out of control. Yikes, well, there's a company whose products to avoid forever. It's all in the wording. If they had said this like this, then probably it wouldn't be much of an issue. When you Google what South Pacific Islanders look like in tribes, they were close. I'm not understanding the incorrect depictions. So, where is it insulting? I don't get it. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. I'm still gonna give, South of Midnight a try. It's on Game Pass. It's basically going to be part of my subscription. See what it's like. But for those that, if they were looking to make money on this, the moment, Sweet Baby has probably one of the worst reputations out there right now in just absolutely ruining everything they touch. And this could potentially be disastrous for South of Midnight. And another game that probably won't sell at all, and if it doesn't, it's going to be another one for the third-party pile. That's just the way it's going to go, with the hopes that maybe someone on another platform might consider picking it up. I really hope that's not the case. I really hope people will get past this. And who knows, maybe Sweet Baby will actually come up with an actual good and compelling story that isn't going to be filled with, agenda-driven and political-driven scripts that, especially the stuff that we saw in Suicide Squad. The banter between the characters were cool, but some of the, the lore behind it was just really, really just not right. But that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. And, I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.